Hey guys, look what I just got. Alright, here's what you need to get started with the Raspberry Pi. You need your Raspberry Pi, obviously, a power supply, a USB power supply that is 5 volts and this one's 5 volts, 1 amp. And you will need a USB to micro USB, it has to be micro USB cable. And if you're not using HDMI, you can use RCA to connect it to your TV. It doesn't matter if you use the yellow, red, or white because sides of the RCA, because it's all the same. Just make sure that if you plug white into your Raspberry Pi, plug white into your TV. Or else you can go with full-size HDMI cables like I'm going to be using. The advantage with HDMI is that you don't need a separate cable for audio. The Raspberry Pi will default to digital audio over your HDMI cable, which is kind of nice. If you don't have an HDMI cable, you also need a, I don't have it with me right here, but you'll need a RCA to headphone jack converter, which aren't too hard to find. You can find them at like Radio Shack or something. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is open up the Raspberry Pi, because I haven't opened it yet and I am very excited. Oh, it doesn't even have tape. Okay, so let's open it, and here's some Raspberry Pi regulatory compliance and safety information. And here's the Raspberry Pi. I'm gonna take that out. Okay. Alright, let's take a closer look at this. So here are the GPIO pins right here. There's, I think there's 26 of them. One thing to know about them though is that they use 3.3 volt logic levels, not 5. Don't make that mistake or else you'll damage your Raspberry Pi. So that means that you can't just go ahead and connect your Arduino to this directly. You have to use something in between. To change the logic levels, because the Arduino uses 5 volt logic levels, this uses 3.3 volts. We have a 700 megahertz CPU with Video Core 4, which supports OpenGL, and that's all on the same chip. Micro USB port, full-size HDMI port, 2 USB ports, RCA video, analog audio, and it looks like some ribbon cable connectors and Ethernet port. It looks like all there is for now. Oh, SD socket right here. Alright, there are a few things that we have to do with our SD card before it'll work with the Raspberry Pi, and one of them is formatting it. On Windows and Mac, you have to get an SD formatter off of the SD Card Association's website. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'll post a link right here. Alright, it looks like we have this SD formatter version 4.0 installed. Drive F and 7.41 gigabytes, that looks about right. Format options, let's see. Okay, I don't think we should do anything with that, so I'm just gonna hit format because there are no other options. You may be, sure. Do not remove drive during formatting, yeah. Okay, I already made sure that I have nothing on this card, which is what you guys might want to do first so you don't lose pictures or whatever. Alright, file system, FAT32, total space 7.41 gigabytes, cluster size, I don't know what that means, so yeah. Alright, looks like that's all good. So next step. Alright, next it looks like we have to go to raspberrypi.org/downloads and download the new out-of-the-box software recommended. We recommend that first time Raspberry Pi users, yeah, okay. So it looks like we're gonna torrent it, or I'm gonna just download zip. Alright, it looks like it's almost done. This took a while, it's a gigabyte, so be aware of that. Alright, it's about done. It took about 15 minutes. Yeah, it might take a good long time. Alright, all done. So I'm going to click on it, and it's gonna open up all these files. We are going to have to unzip the downloaded files, so let's go extract all files. I'm just gonna leave it in my downloads, so oops, blurry, extract. It looks like we're going to have to copy the extracted files onto the SD card. The SD card that we just formatted, obviously. Alright, so I copied all this stuff onto my SD card, and now it's time to get the Raspberry Pi going. Power cable, Ethernet, SD card. Okay, let's try this out. First thing we're going to do is HDMI. Second thing, this. I'm not going to plug in Ethernet yet. Oh no. Second thing is keyboard. Let's do. And then gotta grab my mouse cord. Here goes. I'm going to plug SD card in. And power. See what it does. Should start up. Here it goes. Oh, I got an error. Well, I guess we'll just have to say close. Okay. Now it gives you a list of six OSs that you can do. I am going to go with Raspbian. This will install this out. Yep, that's what we want. Currently setting up your SD card. Alright, it looks like an error occurred while writing. Okay. I guess I'll try reloading the system files back onto the SD card because I messed with them a little bit. I'm going to do that. Hopefully that works. Alright, I am back with a fresh set of boot files loaded on to my SD card, so we're going to try this again. There. There. Hopefully this works. It's turning on. Okay. Install OS. Yep. Alright, successfully is always a word I like to hear. So I'm going to click OK. And I don't know what I have no idea what it's going to do. At all. Looks like it's setting stuff up. Alright, looks like we have a bunch of options. What's kind of cool is that they give you a bunch of overclocking options. Default 700 megahertz, that's not overclocked at all. Once you get this high, it gets really unstable. If you do overclock though, you want to make sure that you have some sort of heatsink, and believe it or not, they have heat sinks for Raspberry Pis, which I will show you in a minute. I'll overclock it to modest. Alright, I'm going to hit finish. I finished setting up everything. Would I like to reboot now? Yep, sounds good. Oh, by the way, default username I think is Raspberry, and default password is Pi, or it's the other way around. It's one of those two. Alright, it looks like something's about to happen. Command line went away. Here's the graphical user interface. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is cool. There's a power button, and you get something like a start menu. That's cool. Let's see if the internet works.